Here we go. Welcome to Tartary Nova. This is Andreas and 13th Monkey, Mike. So we're going to be looking at a lot of interesting things today. First, we should go into a bit of what we're doing here, which is looking at places around the world that have, and pardon us for using the Google Map system, but it seems to be, still one of the better ways to find lost ruins of civilizations. And Mike has been doing this for quite a while. I would call him the foremost expert in finding Starforts. There have been a few people that have done pretty well, but they've also been sharing research together. So every time Mike, he contributes this information, and there's been, I think you have maps here from other people too that you've been looking over. So it's just the information is growing so fast. But Mike, what's up? Tell us what's going on.
A lot. There's a lot more people contributing to the stuff, as you can see from the videos that Victor did with autodidactic. That was a really good one, showing basically the workings of a star fort, and I've been steadily plodding away at the maps. As you can see by this filling in of Europe I'm currently doing. So that's what's up. We've got more people contributing to the search, coming up with old maps, finding new locations. More Discord members interested. I'm not a Starfort expert.
Yes, you are.
I just find them.
Well, it's a good start.
As you can see.
So looking here, what's going on, like, for some people who are new at Starforts, because there apparently are people who have been asking, like, what are they still? So what, at this point, after looking at them in so much, what do you think Starforts are, and what do they prove, or what do they what questions do they open up?
To me, they open up why so many. If these were used for war, why so many? Why everywhere? I mean, is there really like a strategic benefit in having a star fort on this teeny tiny little island?
Right, yeah, and zoom into the star fort so people can see what we're talking about here. These, crop circle like fortifications. That's not just a normal thing, that there's these like arabesque patterns, and yet it is normal. There's so many of them. So what are some of your favorite recent discoveries in Starforts that you've been finding that you're...
Recent discoveries in Starforts? Let me just get rid of everything and just flick the whole map on.
Oh, you can go through that if you want. I mean, I'm sorry. Go where you want to go.
Go where I want to go.
Follow your remote.
Follow your heart.
Follow your remote viewing. I'm thinking more androidic, but yeah, do as you do.
Well, Victor and autodidactic were talking about the inundation system of cities, and Victor showed a lot of stuff in the Netherlands. Around here, Zetogenbosch. As you can see, there's plenty of star activity. The Star City with its citadel. No, yeah, YouTube is going really slow. I have to keep that in mind.
Your YouTube is going slow? Oh, they're behind on watching the video?
Yes. Somewhat behind, so I'll try and keep that in account. Okay, this is a citadel, and this is a reoccurring pattern pretty much worldwide, and not all in a distinct star-like shape.
That's pretty much Mario Brothers, though, that one there.
Isn't it?
And the tree
taking it back
lines
to that.
around it too. I mean, like it's interesting that the trees keep with it. Like it's exact, like they're growing. So people are maintaining these a lot of the time.
Twilight Mist asks, or says basically, all of Europe is a Starfort by now. And yeah, pretty much any town with a history going back to pre 1815.
Yeah, it's like snow. There's snowflakes everywhere. The whole place. I mean, when you zooms out, look at all these stars, and I mean that's crazy. Just like the idea that these were all just fortifications to fight against each other. There's moments when people fought each other, but that's just insane. Like
I mean, the given narrative is that Leonardo da Vinci invented these in the 1500s.
well, anything that they say Leonardo da Vinci invented, you have to wonder. I mean, it's pretty likely that most of his achievements were rediscoveries because he's interpreting old books, you know, and it's very likely that most of the things in the 1500s were even accepted then as being rediscoveries. So there could very well be, you know, Roman duplicates the way China made duplicates of American cities. There could be newer star forts from the 1500s, and there could be older ones. It seems like the ones you've found. What are some of the older looking ones to you? You think are predating 1500 pretty clearly?
Amsterdam. I'm sorry, that was my mouthful. Amsterdam. Zooming in now.
How old is it? What's the history on Amsterdam?
Amsterdam goes back to the 1200s, 1100s. There's old maps of Amsterdam starting, like, give me a few seconds to zoom in, but Amsterdam started like this. Just confusing the lag on YouTube, but there you go, that whole mode. And you're following here. That was the old city, and then it slowly expanded. And this is the last remains of a bastion.
Wow, right there. It's amazing all these points that we're finding that are connecting, and this is from 1200s probably, right? That's like early maps, like that we have are like 1200s of Amsterdam that are even look more star 40 than they do now.
Let's see
This
if
is
I
what's
can
left.
quickly find something on old Amsterdam maps. The Netherlands. Amsterdam.
Nice.
Started as such.
Look at that with the points.
Give it a couple of seconds for it to load on YouTube. There we go. And then it's slowly evolved into
wow.
this.
So when is this supposed to be also?
I don't think I have an exact date on this.
It's interesting how pointed everything is. Like it comes to a point where they're like, we have to have a star fort on everything. I mean, all of Europe at some point, like Twilight Mist was saying, is pretty much covered in these. So there's something about the shape in general. And it's also interesting when you're finding ones that don't look initially like, you know, a snowflake but they do if you look at different kinds of snowflakes. Like that Amsterdam has a symmetry like a crystal still. All of these are crystalline structures.
That's Lille, the citadel of Lille, and then here you can see some remains. Oh, this lag is horrid.
You can watch this on the duck StreamYard. I don't know what else to call it. I love that mallard, that green mallard. But you can see it live in the StreamYard video faster than in the YouTube, and you can still read comments and chat.
Yeah, an old map of Lille. Just tied to an old map. Yeah, there you go. That used to be the Star City of Lille. And it turned into this.
Very interesting. I mean, like, so what defines these really symmetrical Starforts versus the ones that just look like asymmetrical crystalline structures? Like Amsterdam and that city have these. They don't look just like a normal star. They have sort of the qualities of stars and crystals and snowflakes, but they have different oblong shapes. Like, what's up with that?
Geometrics in the ground.
It seems like it. Like
I'm not an expert. I just find them.
It seems like they fit to the natural contours of the Earth and follow the river line, but then they still manufacture this crystalline latticed growth. So everything's always growing in crystalline lattices.
You mean like the ringed forts, or just the growth of the city?
The growth of the city around the fort, right? Because it has the same kind of design, even though it's oblong here, it still follows the same patterns and growth.
Some have old maps, some don't. Anyways, getting back to the ring cities, Victor was talking about. It's not just the Netherlands that has ringed cities. France, Belgium, and especially Poland seem to have a really big favor for cities with inundation systems. It's a neat example.
Oh, I was just interested to find how all of this Google Earth was created. Earlier this afternoon, I was watching some videos on early satellite, military satellites and espionage, and one of the programs was called Operation Corona. And so Operation Corona used to take high resolution video and photo before there was video. And then they would parachute these droned film rolls out of the planes or out of the satellites. And then other planes would pick up the photo data. So Operation Corona is where they started all of this Google mapping.
Operation Crown.
I mean, isn't that funny? I don't know. Just that it comes back to it's like when you start hearing a word, just everything connected with it. Right. And then Brittany S. says, Secretarian says, to show some Africa. We'll do that definitely. We're going to go through
Yeah.
We have stuff to show, yeah. Everyone, just so you know, Africa's coming. Africa is rising. Starforts.
Nice example of a remaining city in Poland.
Wow.
We mapped out all the walls.
So did you get the red line drawn, or did your the Russian guy do the red line, or did autodidact?
Oh, I did that. I did the red line.
Good job. I mean, it's right there. It's weird how the things are growing around the line. You know, it's so clear, but it's following the same path afterwards. There's some real powerful qualities to following this rule. It makes everything last clearly.
It's really quite something, huh?
It's just incredible how they connect to each other too, because it also kind of infers, like you said before, it's probably not about war, and then that there's evidence for it being about trade or connectivity rather than isolationism.
My map would sort of indicate that Western Europe was the densest place to have a Starfort, but then I can't thank this guy enough for what he did. and I don't know who he is, but where are they? Russian stars. Everything that's about to appear. This takes a while.
Oh,
still needs to be added to my map.
Double rainbow. That's a double Starforts. Double your pleasure. That's double stuffed with Starforts, and those are mostly in east, but he's even added some in the west in Spain. You can see the blue ones are even in Portugal and Spain. That's pretty impressive.
Ireland, Portugal, Spain. There's a bunch in Italy, because the more you zoom in, the more that appear. So I have to.
You found some in Croatia too. This guy.
Yeah, but that's mostly my stuff.
Oh, the dark blue are yours. Yeah, I was hoping. Jeez, Mike. What about down there towards Greece?
Albania?
I was going further east. Over there. Like there. Crete, Greece, the Cyprus, that area.
Cyprus is here.
Yeah, nothing there.
That's a nice example of a star city, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's the best. That's like a circle. Man, that's how many sides is this? Like 24 sides or 12? I have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 16. 1, 2, 4, 5, 12. Maybe it's just 12. I don't know. Still, it's a lot. That's a lot more interesting than some of the Starforts that we've seen in other places. It's still got all the points, even as it's been pushed in. You can see like the red. You can see where new cities have formed on the outside, but they've still kept the points are still there.
Points are still there.
Twilight Mist got 12 points on that star. I don't think she's right. I think she's right. Thank you for counting. I tried. I said that, but I wasn't sure.
You tried, but you failed.
Well, if you can't have confidence, then you can't. Emmanuel can't.
Heraklion in Crete.
Wow. This reminds me of one of them in Chile as well. There's a few in South America that look very similar to this. They have that sort of, they follow the rules connecting to the coastline, but I have to wonder what's happened to the coastline there, because look how weird that whole area is, right? Like it's spread out around it. So there's definitely environmental changes that happen from these cities. Is there anything in Saudi Arabia that you found?
Nope. Well,
yeah,
a sort of a, this could be location, but it's a black star, basically,
okay.
Indicating nothing specific, just a hunch.
Okay. Well, what about some of those Russian ones? Have you looked at any of the ones so far in Russia that you picked up?
The thing with the Russian, everything East Europe was pretty much demolished. There's not a whole lot of cities standing anymore. If I switch the Russian file off.
Wow, yeah. Gone.
This is a nice example of some remains of a fortification still standing, but
and how
you see it here.
How many towards the east? Is it get to a point where they lessen towards China, or does it just keep going?
In the Russian file, but that's the thing.
You might not have seen them yet.
There's no real satellite data on Siberia. So if you zoom into Siberia, what you're going to get is this. And some of it is really detailed, but most of it is just crud. A lot of holes in the ground.
Scaris.
But yeah, I got some stuff left here, but Omsk.
Twilight Mist says, I bet all of Northern Africa is just like all of Europe, Starfort-wise. But you can't tell unless you see under the sands. Well, dang, girl. That's pretty much exactly where we're going on this one.
Yep.
Let me show you this picture real quick. So this is Africa, kind of spread out and mirrored, but you can see the heart and separate shape of Africa. Only there's two things you're not familiar with unless you're like super woke.
Give it a second to it's not readable yet.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Now it's sharpening up. Lake Chad and Lake Congo.
Lake Chad and Lake Congo are like big. Lake Chad itself is still underneath the Sahara, and Lake Congo, the water is still there as well. If you look at the route patterns to the Nile, to the Congo River, out to West Africa, even across Northwest Africa, out to Mauritania, there was there was an entirely different kind of Africa. Those Serengeti, savanna, grasslands, forests, rainforests. You have to understand there was not the Sahara probably didn't mean desert. It probably meant awesome place to live, like that's, and people would take boats around these lakes. They had houses and cities around these lakes. So we've been wondering, can we find any Starfort information? Well, check this out, Mike. What you got for us in Africa? In the desert.
This is thanks to Shishigi, if I pronounced that correctly, on the Google Earth forums, who spent quite a while researching the south of Libya, where we get places like this. And lagging YouTube. There you go. Now, maybe some people from the Discord will remember this article, and this is going to take quite a while to load.
Lost Fortress of Sahara revealed by satellites. James Owen for National Geographic News. Well-preserved settlements of mysterious civilizations discovered in Libya. A satellite picture of the lost fortress, image courtesy of blah, 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 Google.
Blah, 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 blah. Well,
now,
there you go.
This is about 10 years ago.
2011. But some people may have seen this past the review in the Starfort topic on the Discord, and that's not the only one.
Son of Overbook asks, is there any discernible epicenter for these Starforts?
Nay. There is an enormous amount of information and maps available on Europe. And there is some stuff available on the States, South America, and Asia. Southeast Asia mainly, and that's really about it. The Russian archives are a mystery to me because I don't read Cyrillic, sadly.
We're going to have to work on that. I think that in general, the best answer is that everyone who's studying it is at the epicenter of Starforts. Wherever you are, you're going to see them. So that's your epicenter. But if the more we start to find that there's an epicenter in Russia and there's one in South America, and now we find Africa has these forts, which is interesting because a lot of the things in Africa have been buried. And you have to think of it like there's a lake underneath the sand. There's probably cities there too. It's similar to what we might find with Antarctica, that we need to use LiDAR and different kinds of satellite imaging, which just has, of course, been done, but has not been presented to the public yet. So we're only getting glimpses of the former glory of the Tartarus.
Boom. This is fairly unclear, but
I don't know.
You can see the four-pointed structure here.
That one's pretty clear. I mean, it's clearly buried, but it's there, Yeah, watery. I think LiDAR has been done to all this stuff, of course. But I mean, I know that it
Data is
has
just
from
not
reading.
available.
Yeah, it's just not available to you and I. But at some point soon, I think it will have to be. And the thing is also with the technology becoming more and more available, then it's done again, and it's done by someone who has access to that technology by themselves. So there's a second copy, which is like the difference between Linux and Unix, right? Like the military invents Unix for AT&T and whatever, but then we all get to use it 20, 30 years later as something kind of just a copy of it, but not quite it. I think that's what's going to happen a lot with this technology, and not just LiDAR, but I think sonar is being used in Antarctica to pick up underneath the snow a lot of different kinds of depths of and also the different materials and the density of those materials. So we'll find very soon a lot more information. I mean, this is just surface what we can find, and what we're finding is already impressive. In Africa, especially, it's like, what?
I'm just replying to the chat here.
Oh, you could also answer it aloud.
That's true.
What was the question here?
Just to have it, right? There was sort of statement like not many. It is a question. Not many of West Coast of United States, or is it any?
Oh, Sir Lek asking not many on the west coast of the U.S., or is there any?
There's a bunch of batteries on the west coast of the United States, which give a good indication of the existence of forts there. But a lot happened to the west coast of the United States.
Right. Imagine it being either new claimed land or land that crashed into itself because it's been connected to an island, essentially. And there's been earthquakes, obviously, but there's also been subterranes from Russia. Like everything's happened in California. The gold rush was a complete destruction of they blew up places and used fireman hoses to completely wipe away mountainsides. So it's hard to say what's left on the far west coast, but there are in the north of California and in Mexico there are.
Yep. Yeah, we're going over to the west.
Beebles says world isn't flat or round, it's a giant starfort, which is fair. I think it's a snowflake. That sounds good. Just like every one of you. So
around, it's a giant rotary.
Where's this rotary starfort? What are you looking at this one at? Is this in Africa still? Where is this at? Is this Mars? This looks like the surface of Oh no, they just tricked us again.
All right. Oh, why? That's just mean.
I'm sorry, it's Tatooine.
Shit, there's so many of these. I'm just zooming in a little quicker because otherwise we'll never get around to anything. But this is just a neat indication, isn't it, of like how many of these square forts they had around this old lake. Because this isn't Lake Chad. This is, if I zoom out, you can actually see it quite well. This is just another lake all again. Like these were just cities along a pretty damn big lake.
That's just crazy.
One last one in the Sahara. Well, the Libyan part. And then we'll go over to the eye.
I'm really hoping we're trying to work with Ben to get the volcano and earthquakes app, which reads with LiDAR to it has some data on where volcanoes are. And that's the woke question about Starforts. How close are they to volcanoes? Because we start to find patterns with energy use. So this is Mauritania. This is the eye.
I like to point out what's the channel that did. He did 3 videos. I forget his name. 3 videos on the eye of the Sahara being Atlantis. Opinions are still divided on that, and I don't really care. What I do know is that it definitely was a civilization.
Look at that.
I'm going to take you to the next one.
Watery brings up the Russians in the Orthodox and the Old Faith Russians and Romanov and Tsar connections in Northern California. I haven't heard much about Alaska yet. I've seen some signs of Starforts that look like they were the Russian forts, is one of the names of one of the Starforts in Alaska. But in general, yeah, California is to this day still covered with Old Faith, Orthodox Russians. There's Russian cathedrals all over there, which is rad, and the mountains and things.
Just pointing out the 4 towers there.
Wow, that's crazy. This is just this is you found on every ring so far of the
These are not necessarily forts I'm going to show now, but they are definitely remains of structures.
Right. So what do you think this means, that these forts are on top of what used to be, to a lot of people? They say that Mauritania's circle was Atlantis. Do you think these are post-Atlantis? These are outposts or something built on top of it?
I'm not even necessarily saying this was Atlantis. I have my own ideas on Atlantis.
Okay, so what do you think about the eye of Mauritania?
I don't know, the drawings that come up about Atlantis being the ringed city and all the measurements making sense in this giant, it's about to zoom out again. Like, everything seems to measure up with what they have on Atlantis.
Right.
What is available, not what they have. What is available on Atlantis.
If this was covered in water, which it sounds like we have evidence of from the, Lake Chad.
There's a bunch of aquifers in here, but most of them are saltwater except for the one in this part, the center part.
That's interesting that it's maybe there was a pollution of some kind of the mineral water with too much salt. Sagittarically speaking, right? Sagittarically asks, have any Starforts been found in Antarctica?
No.
It's hard to do with the snow, but yeah, we found like pyramids. There's been a number of little outpost cities that have been noticed around where Raytheon is posted on the east. There's Myrtle you could look into, but McMurtle, but without using LiDAR, this is the best you can see. There are better systems though that are available. So like we said, we're trying to get access to I'll probably do a screen capture with Brittany soon, looking with LiDAR at Antarctica, because it is fascinating. Where's this star?
This is also still in the Sahara somewhat.
Square fort, as who said square fort? Jado said.
Yeah, it's square forts, but that star forts come in squares. They come in 5 points, 6 points, 7 points.
Well, even the square fort has points on the corner points. They have those arrow points still, which is interesting. It still follows that rule. That seems like, I feel like a square fort is maybe the closest thing to like that would be for military purposes more, because they're like, okay, we don't care. We just need this up really quickly.
This is a round fort, but it still has these nice bastion shapes here. It's still a star.
Circlex says, I saw a video of keyhole shaped marks left all over these guys. I think it was the New Earth Yeah, I think it was the New Earth channel. He says, reminded me of the Vatican. I wonder if Google Earth scrubbed them. Can't find the vid either. Well, if you notice just now, there was a key-shaped kind of, the circle fort has kind of the opening to it. So there's these lock and key shaped things. Brittany says they have labeled forts in Antarctica, military maps though. Yes, I concur.
Show me the map and I'll label them.
Yeah, we could, this thing is that you've got maps from the 1500s showing cities across Antarctica. So you'll find that a lot of that stuff is there. But snow is amazing for preserving things, so it'll just be waiting. There's also supposed to be, look at this, the Vatican.
This is the keyhole shape, I think, that is mentioned earlier in the chat.
Yeah, I've always noticed that the rosary looks kind of like a key chain, to like start a spaceship or something. Who knows? But there's definitely a star.
Square fort.
Square fort star there.
In a star.
Everybody get what happens to the desert starforts now? When you can't see the outer green part of the fortification because it's been buried in sand? Yeah, that's what's going on. But look at that key to the river, star right on the side of the river.
Bastion shapes. These are the old walls of Rome. You can definitely, again, distinguish the bastion shapes, which are completely mapped out in red.
You might also note that some of these buildings, like they look at a certain angle because of where they're being looked directly down from. So the pictures sometimes are at an angle, but the fort themselves often are built around constellations. They're looking at astrology and astronomy, and they're building with the Big Dipper. What do you call the Big Dipper in Holland again? It's like a bull or a bear?
Big bear.
The Big Bear. Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, I'm kind of like a little cubby bear, but yeah, the Big Bear is the Big Dipper. So if you guys have ever heard of that star shape in the sky, it's also the bull, the bear.
It looks somewhat like a frying pan.
That's what I was told, because I have a roller coaster by my home that calls it the Giant Dipper, and it's because of the Big Dipper. So of course, familiar with that. But we, like was mentioned earlier, I think Water was saying, there's the Russians in California. So I've heard of it called the bear and the bull also, and it's connected to the Taurus, right? So everything else, the Taurus.
I was about to take you guys to the West Coast.
Let him take you down
to the West Coast, where Night Sky, our Discord mount specialist, found a map yesterday and really casually shared that with me.
I thank you for inclusively containing Baja California along the West Coast, because I think some people forget this is California too, right here.
California, Uberales.
Seriously though, it makes sense. Come on.
Yeah, it does. Where is it? There you go. Now, where is this map?
Native NA stories call them Big N and Little Bear too. Big and Little Bear. Big Bear, Little Bear. Yeah,
Big Dipper and Little Dipper.
Yeah, the natives have the same stories. Interesting, right? It's like, how's that work? Well,
nice Dutch map of Mexican California.
Stellar. Don't you mean California and Mexico?
Hey, Starfort.
Oh yeah, right there, Vesting von San Joseph. Isn't it interesting?
Your Dutch is getting better, man.
Right there, man.
And
one tries. Okay, come on, everyone. Let me say that right there. That's pretty serious.
The garrison and mission of Loreto. So what you do is you go and find the city of Loreto. Which
what you do is you take your satellite imaging
places and populated places. There you go, city of Loreto. And then you find the mission Nuestra Senora de Loreto.
Our Lady of Loreto.
Butchering Spanish. I'm so sorry.
As Our Lady of Loreto, you can say.
But that's the mission. And the mission was inside of a star fort. And thus a blue star for what was once a star. And we have the other one on the map.
Brittany says, Google, you got some explaining to do. I like it.
Doesn't look like much, but this is still in Mexicali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cabo. This is in Cabo San Lucas. You've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've been to this spot, I think. I've been to this one.
Yeah. So this is the remains of a star castle. Not sure if I can get you an image of this thing, but
well, if we could find out the name of that, it might be a dead lighthouse. You know, it could be.
It's on a golf resort.
Yeah, I know. I've been to that one. I swear that they've just kind of turned it into a thing. All of Cabo, you can't even access because it's controlled by these giant multi-million-dollar hotel companies. So you can't. It's not even like the state controls it. It's all privatized, and they just do what they want with it, tear things down. But they also leave everything up because they don't do a lot to it. They don't care.
And then this red star is confirmed by, sorry for that, by, well, the name alone sort of says a lot, El Fuerte. Here we go. El Fuerte.
De Australia.
And if you then look that up on the Wikipedia, it clearly states that the history of the town was a fort.
Hey, Michael Gaddis became a YouTube member. Thank you, Michael Gaddis. That's awesome. Everyone, if you become members, that helps things work. And you can have access to special emojis now. I think you can present Shiva and Gadget Hack Wrench from Rescue Rangers.
All right. West coast of the United States. This here doesn't seem like much. Battery. And I'm afraid I sort of lost that image, but...
Oh, I should mention, Michael, you've also gained a special privilege that not all members are able to have, which is you're now part of the Mictinium, which is like important here.
Hokkaido, which is Spanish for namesake. All right.
And another. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting. All these flattened spots that have become parking lots. Oh, that's weird.
There's another battery. And I know what you're going to tell me. These are all modern, and these have been built by such and such and such. Yes, and they have been built on the foundations of older stuff.
Totally. I mean, the way it works in Mexico, you find something.
You don't Mexico. This is San Diego.
Oh, this is Point Loma? That's hilarious. Again, California is just one big thing. We do things the same way. But San Diego's crazy because of all the valleys between things.
Yep. Cannon fortification. And it's full of this. The whole West Coast is full of remains of old batteries that were supposed to defend the West Coast of the United States from something or other.
But where would you say past San Francisco? Like it's mostly San Francisco, San Luis Obispo, and Southern California, or do you see more northern as well?
Northerly here.
Yeah, see up there. There's a big stretch without them. It's weird. It's just a giant forest of 400-foot tall trees. What are you gonna do?
I mean, there's plenty of videos of us going over San Fran. I'm not going to go there again. You
Yeah,
can
for sure.
look
No,
these up going into the archives. But this is a really neat indication of bastion work, which is again tied to, come on, load
nice.
battery.
It's a big one. Yeah, just commenting on that from San Francisco up to about Washington or to Oregon. Yeah, about Washington, it seems like there's a forest instead of forts. But then you get up again beyond the redwoods, and we're back to forts. I find that interesting. Mountain Cat says they're trying to cover up the trace of giantism, but they just can't. I would say because it's too big of a secret. Oh, sorry. I like puns.
So another thing that was mentioned earlier was keyholes.
Yeah.
Let's go to the marvelous country of Japan and look at some keyholes.
Ooh, dude, right to Osaka. I was like thinking of Osaka. That's awesome. Owned in Sakai. Oh,
the biggest keyhole in the world.
What in Aladdin's name? That is just. Do you remember in Aladdin where like the castle rolls down this snow hill and it puts a key print into the ground? And there's a couple of them. They're like in different. What's going on, man? 3 right there.
No. I need to catch up with the mouse
4
here and start pointing them out. 1 here. Let's see where the mouse is now on YouTube. There you go. Is it working?
Yeah,
there you go. 1 there. And then there's 1 there. And this is going to take a while. And then there's 1 there. And then there's 1 there. And then there's 1 there. There. Let me see if we got some more here. Looks suspiciously like. Another one here. 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 Here.
This is nuts.
Here.
They're like bells, like or something.
Oh, here. Here. There. 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 And just when you thought the fun was over, shit, there's more.
Hashcott asks, why are there keyholes everywhere? I know, right, bro? Yeah, no, we're trying to figure that out. One of the answers was that there's deities, there's this idea of creating a safe space for your goddess. Another one was the idea of Horus and the key, and that this, the Jesuits are taking this idea of the crucifix is really connecting to a key, and that the key was used by these, the Egyptian elite. And then also there's skulls. You could think of it like a skull, which is this like father time thing. This is like a human symbol. But we've seen so many of these that we now know that this is a whole other thing. And this is clearly not a fortification. This is just aesthetic. It could be religious, but we're not sure. But like I said earlier, in that Disney movie Aladdin, my first thought is when the castle rolls down the hill and it makes the key print of the window of the castle, and he survives in the key print. So that's all I got for you right now on that.
I got nothing. I just went over them one day and I was like, what? How many?
Hey, Nara. Is that the name of that place?
Yamato Koriyama.
I have to look into this.
Yamato Koriyama.
I'm trying to remember, is Yamato Koriyama where they make those square watermelons that are like $600?
I don't know. I'm not inclined to buy $600 watermelons.
Especially because you can't eat it. I mean, what the heck is it about, right? Like, they don't even eat them. They just get them decoratively. Like, it's like a status symbol. Wish I had it. Ciao, Jen Thompson. Jen, you said something earlier. I was thinking like what they should do is just throw all the seeds away, like and out into the fields everywhere. You know what I mean? Like if everything everywhere was covered all the time, then it would take a lot of effort to like get rid of something that's considered a weed. Fight the power. Now towards, yeah.
Trying to find that one. Yeah, there she goes. That is the one.
There you go. Mario Brothers. That's just straight Mario Brothers. Only look what they've done to the place. It's been slightly affected by. There's a pool on its side now.
And look at this little miniature one.
Whoa.
So sweet.
So they kept that, and then they built this tennis court or soccer field or whatever it is in this odd shape without messing it up. So that's pretty nice of them.
Track.
Hey, they run around the center of a star. Yes, mountain cat, and be fruitful and multiply, as the Bible says.
Many Starforts.
Wow. This has a downward point. It's an extra.
This one is full of cherry trees.
You cannot tell a lie.
All right, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Oh man, now I have to like improvise. Here, I'll just
look up a Wikipedia on this thing and read about the nonsense that it is.
Look up the Wikipedia on which thing? The star you're at?
Yeah, Starfort in Japan.
Where's the city?
Oh dear. Hakodate.
Hakodate. All right, I'll do it.
Be right back.
So, trying to find about Hakodate. Let's find out. Hakodate. Hakodate is a port in Oshima. History. Opened for foreign trade in 1854 at the Convention of Kanagawa. The biggest city fire in Hokkaido before the Great Hakodate Fire of 1934. There was Ainu populations, which we know are not Asiatic originally, and they were the indigenous people, the Ainu. In case you forget from our earlier episodes, this is what these Russified-looking dudes at the end of, eventually they're like Polynesian or something at the most, but they over time their people have been wiped out essentially. So Hakodate, are you back?
I have returned.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then we'll finish that. But I was going to look at that. I was just trying to find the star fort. Where's the fort? Is there a fort? Hokkaido Fort? Is this it? Yeah. There you go. Goryokaku.
Yeah, Goryokaku.
Goryokaku. From the Republic of Izo. Short-lived established state in 1869 after the Edo period. Fort built by the Tokugawa shogunate to protect Tsugaru Strait from the Russian invasion. Right. So they built a European fort so that when they took it over, it would just be waiting for them, huh? Nice.
Yeah, and then they tell you that is the only one in Japan. Didn't I just show you that 5-pointed star back on Honshu, the main island?
It's a suspicious story.
It's a very weird story.
Especially if you missed the beginning part that they said that this area was settled by the Ainu, right? So they weren't even ethnically what they considered Japan to be. You know, they're the indigenous people. So they're the people that were wiped out. So it's people between Russia and California.
So
are we back in Indonesia? We're looking at the
do you folks want to see stuff? Is that a nice
Right?
one? Is there anything you want
Hey,
to
Lenny.
see specifically? Hey, Lenny. Anything somebody wants to see specifically when I have something I can show you?
Yeah, let us know if there's anything where you're at that you want us to check out for you. But
Chile.
it's in general pretty amazing, I think. Chile, he says.
Chile it is.
Is that Miguel? Way
Well,
on. Right,
hard to see, but there you go.
right next to the Chuck E. Cheese, down here on the highway.
That's your fort, and we have.
What's the name of the place? What city is that?
This is Rio Bueno.
Rio Bueno. I know, right? Is that Miguel? I don't know if you're Miguel or not, but Weon. I know, right? In serio, Weon.
Let's see. Let me just quickly write down what people type and want to see so that we can go over them in order. We're going over Chile, and then we're going to New Zealand.
It's really cool if you're in Chile to visit these too. Like they're there's little cute neighborhoods with like next to a police museum or something. Like almost every time.
Not a lot visible, but this is the entrance to an old star. Here's Bastion Wall still visible.
Where is this one again?
This is Coral. Niebla, Coral Bay.
Caleta someone. All right.
Ooh, this is. Yeah, there you go.
There's a good one. Wow. Straight walls. Recent Tartarians says New Guinea.
I told you that, Brittany. That's mean.
Ha ha ha.
La 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 la. Valdivia. Yeah, that got one in Valdivia. That used to be right here.
Valdivia for sure.
The old outline of it.
Right? Yeah, Chile's amazing. Like, no joke. Not to.
I would not be surprised if there used to be like an old cathedral somewhere in Valdivia, like a big old cathedral.
Not to discredit other places, but Chile has got
like,
a lot of stuff for how small it is.
This may have been a fortified city altogether in the past.
I mean, the West Coast.
Looking at this pattern, Andreas, like, see, there you go. Just follow this line. That will show up for all you guys in a couple of seconds, but I'm going over it slowly. That could be an indication of that being a fortified city in the past.
Totally. And it's funny that Pinochet gets credit for building a lot of these things because he really he stabilized and he fixed a lot of these places. He like made them into like parks again, but almost all of them are military parks. They're all built around Starforts. You'll start to find that Chile is just overwhelmingly filled with these things. And not to say that parts of the Chaco and parts of Patagonia aren't on the Argentinian side as well. There are Starforts, but it's like Chile is amazing. The numbers. Do you also want to show? Actually, could you show El Bolson in south? It's like it's Patagonia region.
Is that a Starfort?
I don't
see a lot of this one. I don't really remember the details of this, but it used to be this whole thing here. It was a citadel. Cañete. A little harder to see, but here's your bastion point. And this was a fort again. I haven't been over these in a while, man. Doesn't say much, but this is a battery. These 3 dots here about to show up. There you go. Cannons. And this is a really familiar pattern. Do we remember this from California?
Right.
Exactly the same.
I think Bariloche has got a number of Starforts as well. It's part of the reason why the Germans went there. And it's just that whole area on both sides of the line even are filled in. And then Brazil, someone says Curitiba, Brazil, but doesn't know if there's any Starforts there.
Curitiba. All right, since we're in South America, I'll quickly go there. Yeah. Well, close enough.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this one. Doesn't show up as a whole lot here, but it definitely is a star. Yeah, going over the city quickly, but we're moving to New Zealand soon. And I'm not going on a star hunt.
Inland. Hash God says we'll go back. I don't know where to, but that whole area was a star, he says. And yeah, I could see a whole city being like a giant star as it just grows latticed.
All right, New Zealand was next. These are not really good visible stars. These are nice. Not that visible. There you go. Better image. That's the best.
Boom.
There you go. Then we have
like a pyramid or something. It was like on top of a flattened part of a mountain.
I can show you another one in a similar style. This doesn't show a whole lot. Again, image
Man,
quality.
that's a close call that you found that one.
It's not great image quality, but this, yeah, just wait for YouTube. Sort of shows a nice bastion point here. There you go. These ones are definitely well and truly visible.
Boom.
And that one, let's see if we can get a little clearer. Nah, not that much, but there you go. We have another really neat one here in the middle of a park forest. And then there's a bunch of other forts. Wellington and Auckland. They're not that interesting to look at. And then there's this one in the middle of a twin volcano.
So that's another thing we were saying. I hope people heard earlier about volcanoes. We're looking for the woke question to ask is, where is the volcano? If you find the volcano next to the Starforts, you find the Starforts next to the volcano, and you find out, hopefully, what we're trying to find out still, that we need the answer to. Can we connect them? Were they connected? Are they using energy from volcanoes to power something that's lost that we're near these Starforts? That's kind of a hypothesis that we're still trying to prove.
Sorry, man. Nothing much near Iowa so far.
Poor Iowa. That's what they all say. Oh, man. Just kidding. We love Iowa.
I had my theory as to why, and that there's not a whole lot to be found here anymore because of mud flood.
Mud flood's really taking things out. But there's a lot of great buildings there. I'll give you that. We do have brick buildings that are awesome there. But in terms of Starforts, places like, do we look at Papua New Guinea? Did you do that yet?
No, because Brittany is trolling me. We talked about that the other day.
Oh, okay. Of course. Well, okay. I'm glad we trolled her back. Trolls. You know, I found out that fishermen actually troll fish by slowly trolling the boat. And I was like, oh, that's a whole different kind of trolling.
No. Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens is somewhere here, right?
I think so.
It's not that far off. The blue star should actually be a black star, though this part of Olympia does have a lot of things that make me go, wait a minute. But it should
Twilight Mist says, buy all your Tartarian. Sorry, I was reading. Twilight Mist says, only buy your Tartarian gear from Xirtus. Support the channel. Still waiting for mine to get delivered. That was beautiful.
Very nice.
Well, all right. We'll make a new Starfort shirt. We'll have another one.
Mount St. Helens is here, so I don't have anything really close to it. Like, this is an old Starfort. No, it doesn't look like one anymore because it's being used by the military.
Bummer. It would make sense, though, also to have a fortification. These are pretty tall things a lot of the time. So if you have one of these in a volcano or a mud, either way, magma or mud floods you, this would probably be your best bet.
Batteries everywhere.
Sarah says do a guessing game with Tartarian buildings or star fortresses at some point. How do you mean? And watery. Yeah, I'm looking for a new alternative to TeePublic now that we have like trade war with China. What can I say? Like, that's not going to work. I hear you. Like, the shipping is overpriced from now. It used to be better. I don't know what happened.
Any other requests? People to look at?
Someone was at Alaska. Did you find anything in Alaska yet?
Nope.
Okay.
No Alaska, I'm very sorry.
If you look at it just right, the land bridge is a smiley face. So there's that. That's nice.
India. Oh, Lord. Where in India?
Clearly the south, but also the north, but not everywhere.
No, nothing on the Aleutian Islands either. Not that I have seen a whole lot of volcanoes on those. North India. All right. Well, this one is a bit debatable. Is it India? Is it Pakistan? But that one is pretty neat. Diamond shaped. Jerusalem I can show on an old map as being a star fort, but Victor on the Boogeyman channel on YouTube did a whole video about these types of forts, which are cigarette style, and they tie into star forts just as much.
Be aware of the boogeyman. Subscribed. He's pretty rad.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry we couldn't get him on today. He apparently was in the middle of a surprise, and you can't surprise a Dane without expecting them to go straight to war. Well, we've been at this for an hour and 50. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Man, I don't mind. Like I said, I can go.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like how long you wanted to go for.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Cool. All right, guys. Any places you want to keep looking at? Just you keep popping them through, and we'll keep looking at them for a while. See what we find.
Hey, so I'm not going on a
Pebble Beach.
If there's like anything you want to see, I'll take you there. And if there is a fortification,
Flower Fort, says Twilight Mist.
Oh yeah, India is a marvel of fortifications. Twilight, like where are you? Let's look at the geographics here. Is this it? Chittorgarh. This is one of the biggest forts in the world.
Dang.
This whole thing is a cigarette style, which I mentioned earlier. It's a mountain that's been fortified.
And it's back to that oblong kind of thing that we were seeing like Amsterdam. But yet, of course, they're still pointed the whole way.
Fort Snelling. Wait a minute, let's see.
I have to go return some videotapes. I'll be back in a second.
That's fair enough. I'm just taking you over stuff. Doesn't look like much, but this one again comes with a very large wall surrounding the whole place. Give YouTube a second to catch up, but as you can see, following along that line, all of a sudden this whole area was once a big fortified city. Really nice example of like actual bastion fort, Allahabad.
Okay, so visualize this. I'm walking down the hall and I'm grabbing a beer, and all of a sudden I hear this dude's voice because behind me, Brittany's got a phone listening to YouTube, and so I'm scared. I'm like, "Who's that guy?" I think that was the best trick I've ever been played on me.
It was you.
My own shadow, my own Jungian shadow. Forever young. All right, so Fort Williams is in England, or where are we?
No, this is Calcutta.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. The British fort name, why not? Of course.
Let's see if we can get a little brighter on that one. And yeah, that goes to show it a bit better. You can see the outlines, all the bastion points here.
That's a nice one. That is a nice one right there. Look at that.
But it's mainly the Indian coasts that like have a lot of like star-shaped fortifications.
How about North India? I saw a couple up there. What are the Aryan Alps looking like?
What, this one?
Yeah, that whole area. No, it's still in India. Well, okay, go there. Yeah, let's look at that one. No, that's a good.
It's a square.
Kashmir. This matters. This is where China's invading.
It's for forbidden city type style.
Excellent.
Doesn't show a lot, but here's your walls with towers and shit.
You can definitely see part of it.
First, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was one. All right, you have to throw something in a bucket.
Don't have a bucket handy. Oh wait, I do. Wait. There you go.
Thank you.
Kolkata we looked at. Oh, this is always a neat one. Just see Daman.
Yes, watch Xirtus, visit Charlie Nova. Thank you for your donations, and join our radio chat in the Discord where we talk about these things. And now we have video chat in the Discord, so you can tune in for unrecorded sessions of these actual. You can be a part of this without necessarily, if you don't want to be recorded. Like we're doing that also too. So you could just use it as a place to talk about these things and meet each other. But yeah, thanks. Keep watching, and thanks for your donations.
All right, let me see. Go quickly scroll through the. By the way, all of this stuff will be available fairly shortly on the website www.starforts.org. And on the Discord.
Definitely check out starforts.org. Very cool group of people putting things together. But also, yeah, the Discord, you can get a link to it and every other video. And this one, you'll have it in a second once I get done putting it on the thing. But you can go to charterinova.com and you can find a link to the radio chat. Oh, you can do both at the same time. That's genius. Look at these buttons you have here.
Here's your, it's really bad image quality, but you can still sort of see it. Cigarette type walls.
Leon, did you see the video earlier of Chile? We totally had Chilean stuff for you. I hope you saw it. We've got like a ton. He played like a dozen forts or something in Chile. Just like,
yeah, but I got most of them from Miguel. So,
well, what does that have to do with it? There's just the point is Chile is there, But yeah, it's true. You've got them organized though in such a great broad way. But we went through at least a dozen in Chile, which is good.
That's true. Yeah, but Miguel was the one who came to me with like, there's a whole bunch of them. There's one here, there's one there. So yeah, you're mentioned in the thank you list on on
Thank
the KMP
you.
file too.
Gracias, weón.
Yes, Einar. Good evening to you. That's another contributor to the whole Starfort list. Done a whole lot of work in beautiful Norway.
Beautiful Norway.
I'm just trying to focus it. There you go. Beautiful Norway. Lots of Starforts.
Beautiful Norway. At that, I'll just, I'll buy you time.
Yeah.
Now that just looks terrifying because it's like they cut a Starfort in half. Like what?
And it didn't cut it in half. It was built that way.
Yeah, that's diabolical. What kind of crazy Norwegians are doing this?
Half Starfort. There you go.
That's scary. Kind of like it to me. That feels like bad juju, man. That's like bad magic. That's like breaking the circle. I don't know. It's an open star. It's a hook.
Try and show a bunch where we can actually see stars. There you go. Yeah, the YouTube lags a bit behind with my scrolling, so I really have to try and time that, but it's not easy. It's a nice little tiny one. There were a bunch of requests from the for the United States to
they're always asking from the United States.
But just repost it again if you want to see it, because I can't keep up with the chat and I keep forgetting to write it down whilst I'm trying to.
Where in the United States they wanted? Okay.
Smoke. Yeah, just like ask again.
Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach was one in California, right?
Pebble Beach was that a Starfort? We can go over that.
I think they asked. AlphaGo says Edinburgh Castle is built on top of an extinct volcano, and that is a awesome and heavy metal assertion right there. I would agree, and I also that show Outlander is cool. Where is this? Is this Pebble Beach? Where'd you go? Sorry.
No, this is Edinburgh Castle.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
man. California is weird, man. It could be. And we have a lot of Scottish people there too. But this is nice.
Bastion points. Oh, Bastion points. All right, so that's Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, bro.
Edinburgh. I know someone asked the Netherlands, but could you be just a teeny tiny bit more specific?
Yeah, it's
like a couple of hundred.
How about just the ones that look real crazy? That look like those multiple pointed stars. They're very clear. Oh wait, that's every one of them in Holland too.
No, there was a request for the Netherlands, but then
Joseph Ryan is trying to get on the Discord.
You know what?
It's fun.
Enkhuizen is a nice Star City.
Star City. Ooh,
Star City.
That looks like a Jefferson Airplane guitar kind of thing. That's brutal. You know what? You know what's an obvious one that we haven't done in a while? I don't know. What do you think about Washington, D.C.? Is it more than just pentagrams?
Let's go to Washington. Why not? Since we're at it.
Just in case anyone ever forgot.
There's not a lot to see anymore in Washington. That's sort of that's what the states have done. Like you've got these two.
Oh wait, is this West Coast Washington or this is Washington D.C.?
This is Fort Washington.
Okay.
And then there's this one on the other side, batteries.
Nice. I keep the points.
Used to be one there, still sort of visible with this tree outline, but used to be one here. And this is all thanks to Randy. Did a bucket load of research. I saved myself. No more dropping things in a bin.
Joseph Ryan says Fort Cond in Mobile in Alabama is a star fort as well. Budapest. Seven Hills. Just like Rome and St. Paul, Minnesota, says watery, watery.
That is correct, sir. It has been marked. Fort Condé.
Have old maps of the places? I think he means do you? And I think the answer is yeah. Yeah, we have old maps of the places.
Oh, I know knows we have lots of maps of the old places. A lot of the American stuff we do, I know, actually. Again, thanks to Ranty. Most of the red stars that you see are thanks to his work.
How about that red star over there by Washington, D.C.? Go to Washington, D.C. up there and see.
Not one red star.
Wow.
That's something I can actually show on an old map. North America, United States, Washington.
Spacefire. Oh, yes. I remember now. The gas theory, built near water. Haven't many of them been destroyed? I think that's a question, but there's no question about it.
This is the Washington map. Give me a second. It should pop up in a second. Here we go. Zooming. Oh, this is not the high detail map. We probably have a better one. No. Ah, that's the one.
Ah. There you go.
Yep, give it a second.
Well,
what's up, Brett?
Hey, Brett. How you doing, bro? Good old-fashioned Starfort, says Brett. Indeed.
The pentagram in DC.
This is so great.
Starfort, Starfort, Starfort. Everything is sort of darkly colored. Fortifications.
Alexandria, also.
I have a map of Philadelphia being a fortified city. Let me see if I can look that up. But as you can see, all of these dark dots were batteries, fortifications.
Mountain Cat says that it looks like central nervous system. I think the veins of the rivers and things definitely there's some sort of a biological similarity, symmetry.
Let's see if I can find that Philadelphia map.
Dude, Reynolds all about it right now. We got to do after this. We'll look at the ones Reynolds says.
Yep.
We've got some specific requests. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Philadelphia, and then we'll take it back to Europe again.
Sorry to make you jump all over the earth like this.
Who cares? That's what we're doing it for today, aren't we? All right. What was the first one?
So Dendermonde. When you were young, did they call you Reiny? Like when did you become Reinhold?
Rhein. probably. Rijntje. Tje is Dutch for like making things cute and small.
Aw.
Dendermonde.
Tiny little starforts.
And there's the inundation fortifications around Dendermonde.
He just sent like a whole other list of them. It's gone like 30.
Let's see. Neufbrisach, gorgeous.
Yeah, Rantje. That's cool. That's a good one. I like that better than Reini. Reini.
Rijntje.
Yeah, Reini.
There you go, guys. Neufbrisach.
I want to learn how to pronounce that because that's a good nickname for anybody.
With a satellite. And next one, Hulst.
And that could be the new dude.
Is there a lot to see in Hulst? Oh, yeah, there is.
This one's great. I like the lighting on that one too. It's like they're actually, that was not from space. That was like, you know, clearly from like a helicopter. Like,
Cartagena. Sí, señor. En un momento. Let's see. Dendermonde, Hulst, Saint Martin de Ré. Oh, that's
Crop circle star Fortis. Fortis is my favorite. I like Fortis. Vartag.
The next one in that list, Blij, Saint Martin de Ré. The reason for the censorship is that this bastion citadel fort is a prison.
Oh, okay. Well, they're probably naked there.
Blij.
It's weird though how they've taken some of these forts and you're like, how good are these forts? Well, they're still using them, but it's sad that that one's a prison instead of like, you know, I mean, well, I guess not because you know you have to have everyone have access to Starforts. So,
Isn't it Mont Louis?
Brett says censorship. I don't know how many bets. Watery. I don't know. It's censored. I bet you we could look it up. To be fair, I just don't know. That's a bad excuse.
It doesn't accept Mont Dauphin. Does it come with another name? In the meantime, I'm taking you to Briançon.
I want to take you down to Brentcon. Mo. Where's
it? It's a nice one. It's really different, built onto a mountainside.
Brian Convention. It seems like Brian Con would be like bad luck Brian's everywhere. It's like everybody named Brian would come to this convention. It might be cool if it was at a Starfort.
Full of Alps are full of forts. Let's see, because I'm not going to. Let's see. Did you bet Arras, Andreas, Longy, IJsendijkers, Sluis. Damme, Furnes, Wienersberg, Lille. We've been to Lille beginning of the episode. Middelburg. Oh, this is all in the Netherlands. It's great. Anything else coming up? Cartagena. Yeah, we're going to Cartagena after that then. All right. It's almost like a job, man.
I know.
There we go. Middelburg was requested. Sluis. Sluis is gorgeous.
These are just great. It's scary though, but I guess this makes more sense because this is a Nautilus. Okay. I'm comfortable with that golden ratio thing. That's not quite a circle. They're just trying to do the golden ratio. I'll calm down. Still, that's what they had on the other river, right? It was basically just a Nautilus shell growing like a snail on the side of the river. Spacefire asks, don't most of the structures have a subterranean component? Dude, so my favorite Starfort story, I went to Spain, we climbed through an old Starfort, and it was like that scene in Star Wars with like you fight the dark side on Dagobah, or at least in the Dagobah system, because it was like these giant spiders everywhere. It was like thousands, millions of spiders, and this like it was like a center for spiders. They just all lived in there. It was scary. But yeah, there are subterranean components to all of these. Or well, I don't know about all, but it looks like it. Especially looking at volcanoes, right? Because like when you start to notice the mountain ranges near these places, it starts to make sense that they have geothermal.
Cartagena in Colombia. Takes you a little while to decipher that. Are you just going off a list of cities you got there as fortifications?
That is peak autism. I like it. I don't know. Look at this. More. Are these places you hang out? Are these places that you've seen Starforts? Do you feel like there should be? Are these that's pretty reasonable. Gothenburg. Problem is I haven't been to all of these, so I don't even know all of these cities. I've never been to every city in the world. I have to have.
You haven't? What a shame, Andreas.
I know. Well, that's why we're friends now.
I'm disappointed in you, man.
That's why we're friends with David Feisenberg, because he's been to slightly more cities. Slightly.
Okay, so there was a. What was that? Café La Mer. Getting specific there, Einar. Café La Mer. Oh, and there my Google Earth seems to be crashing out.
F YouTube asks, would you do tinfoil hat podcast or broken simulation with Sam AAA? And the answer is yeah, dude. Like I would do almost any of these kind of shows probably. Like at some point or another if I, But I mean I'm not too proud to be on a show that I don't think is as good as mine or something, if that's what you're asking. If that's because I know you have a particular opinion. But like I would totally do, Fox News or CNN again if it was to talk about Tartary or something like that. I don't care because it's not like it used to be where that's your only chance to get your word out. So as long as I can continue to do my own independent thing, I would do pretty much anything that would help, spread the word of Tartary, dude.
Well, Reinhold is talking about Gold Give Me. He got me started too. And then I started expanding on his work, basically. He's worked together with the owner of Starforts.org too, of which I can show a bit. Oh, man, Google Earth is crashing. Doesn't want to listen to me anymore. You're still there, Andreas?
Oh, yes, I is.
Yeah, good. I'm just trying to see if it's not my whole computer going down now.
Oh, I see your screen
going
slowly, so I think it's just going to take a second to...
Yeah,
you should blow on your CPU.
No, I'll shut it off and just restart it. Google Earth has this tendency to...
Oh, you're the best. Oh, look at the kitty. I like him. He's adorable. So much hope. Is that literally beset though? Like, because now there's never like nothing. There's nothing left. Right? I don't ask now. Like, I can't even just say, "Oh, look at the kitty," and not wonder. Wait, is this Egyptian chaos magic? Are you just memeing me?
Google Earth does not want to behave anymore. Nope.
Well, F YouTube. I doubt that. I doubt that they'll take anyone's considerations too much to heart if you're not a member of their lodge. But send any requests to anybody ever you want to have me on the show of, and tell them, hey, have this guy on your show. You know, that's the best way to get your reality, to get your dream realized. So as the world turns or does not, we'll find very soon, as in metaphorically speaking, Mike is about to literally turn the maps back on. We'll see if it works.
Yep.
Hey, look at that. There's that little marble from the Men in Black movie with the cat. And here he goes. All right.
So we had Einar requesting Viborg and the islands outside St. Petersburg. I think you mean this one. Kronstadt. Bastion points in the water. Because, yeah, you definitely need bastion points to defend blind spots in the water. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that was blocked for a second by one of the comments. Let's see. I think Brett said, "Ha." All right. So this is
But yeah, you need bastion points to defend your blind spots in the water, because boats may sneak up on you.
I mean, it's really interesting that these forts are in deserts also, that we're told by the official narrative were covered in water, and that's why they all look the way they do. Yet these forts, they can't be built for that reason. Well, but look at these. Look at how they're in practice right now being used. This isn't hypothetical. This is actual usage.
There was a long time ago somebody commented that like they weren't good for aerial defense.
Fun Guy became a YouTube member of the channel. Big money. Thanks, buddy. I hope you enjoy your new emojis. You can use different Vedic characters and the mouse from Rescue Rangers. Sorry, Mike, you were about to say.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was about to say there was once a comment that Starforts fell out of fashion because you couldn't do aerial defense with them.
Ah, yeah.
Kronstadt is sort of the proof that no, because the Nazis tried to bombard the hell out of this, and it was plonked full of AA, and they said nope.
I have a thought. Can you go to Palestine?
Any other requests? Because I saw Miguel had a request in Uruguay.
Yeah, that's true. Uruguay would be a good one. I'm curious because in reference to what you just said before you exit that, but you can keep going to Uruguay. But the idea of the Starfort being used today actually to fight aerial missiles. They've set up these machines that shoot target missiles out of the sky, and Israel has several spots that look like are Starforts that are used for the protection against aerial threats as well.
Viborg was pretty enormous.
Brett says, "I'm convinced." You're on to something, Mike B.
Already.
And it's spelled UR asterisk.
All right. Fuerte San Miguel.
Kuryukin, we've already done San Francisco on numerous number of occasions. Please feel free to check out the earlier Starfort videos that 13th Monkey, the Starfort expert, has made. And there's also a channel, the Boog channel. Where's that at? Be aware of the boogeyman, because Victor, I'm sad he's not here. We'll make him be here because like he'll feel bad that he missed this. This was good. But we'll be looking more into things together. Check out the boogeyman's channel. And also you can see more videos from earlier days about San Francisco.
This is a neat one that Miguel may not have seen yet in Brazil.
MHM says star equals Ishtar, which seems reasonable. I would further it somehow. I think that's kind of broad, but I would say that that's on the track of what deification of symmetry has, definitely been something done. When we look at Islam.
All right, you wanted to go to Palestine?
Yeah, I wanted to see Israel, Palestine kind of region to see what they've got going on in terms of Starforts because of aerial missile launchers. In reference to what you'd said earlier about these Starforts went out of fashion because of air raids. It's like, well, I'm not sure what this means, but I like it. Q ergo proxy.
Any on the Mississippi?
That's a good question, actually, because the Mississippi River does flow quite a long way. So this is sweet. Look at this right here, Louisiana Starfort. Oh, that's a good point. We should be looking way more at Louisiana. Thank you. Because it's swamplands, like California was when it was an island. This is a perfect example of
forts. Batteries again.
French needed forts. That's their excuse. They're going to say the Cajuns were just, yeah, I mean, maybe.
New Orleans was a star city. The whole French Quarter. This square, I have a map of it. New Orleans.
Yeah, it's really a bummer what's happened to parts of, but look at this, in terms of the outer growth, it was designed so that you'd have, you can tell usually these squares have star points around them. I think that's pretty fascinating.
And again, where is it?
All the action is down south on the Guldry, the Gidry. I hope. I'm sorry. Man, your name F YouTube is like, it's hard because I want to like show this to kids, like people call and they're like an email, they're like, thank you, like these are the videos we can show our students because otherwise they have Bill Nye the Science Guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson. So it's great that we made these videos and we didn't overly curse. But
it's over here. All right, give me a minute. We'll be right back. My cat.
Yeah, you have a cat to attend to. Man, that cat. So let's get back to I'm gonna look really quickly while he's taking care of the cat. Can I get this to go to Elbasan, Argentina.
Wait for the cat. Stand by. Thanks.
I was going to mention Elbasan Rio Negro while you were busy, but
She's very sweet, but she's very old and very deaf. So
yeah.
doesn't look like much.
I watched the new Cats recently. Did I make a video about that? I forget. Did I talk about Cats? Like I just saw Cats the musical recently. That is messed up. The Cats. It's all about like a cat dying, you know, and they're all it's very much Logan's Run. It's a brutal movie.
Neat little towers. And all of this is going to waste because the state doesn't take care of any of these fortifications anymore. Just letting it go to rot. But yeah, that's the end. The mouth of the Mississippi. Again, doesn't look like much, but all you have to do is add 5 points, and there's your star fort. Downtown, probably the old fortifications of a city. What else have we got? Fort Adams. Doesn't look like much, but here's your why is it 5-sided Pentagon? Star here, 5-sided. Up the Mississippi. Small little 4-pointer, X 4-pointer. Square fort with bastions. And as you see, up the Mississippi, it sort of continues on. Galveston. Well, this I think is the old Galveston fortifications. And we've got a old battery sitting right here. What remains of it, and batteries here. Russia, Siberia area is really hard to look at because everything is low detail. Folsom, California.
I wonder if Yandex has better photos.
Nothing in Folsom.
We should try Yandex more.
How long are we at this, Andreas?
This is about 2 hours in. I was wondering, you know, also how you felt. Because
I can go on, but you know, at some point you want to quit the episode because people are not even going to finish it. You know.
Yeah, I feel like 2 hours is pretty good in. We got maybe like let's do 5 more minutes of this spot.
Now Cuba has a little more than 2 star forts, but we can go over those while we're at it.
But you know, you got to come back here. We'll do more of these Starfort videos more regularly. Let's try to get the boogeyman, and we'll do another one. I
Brown.
want to introduce some of this stuff to
Fort.
these philosophy kids because I think that they should really be seeing more about the Tartarian philosophia.
There's a fort.
Starfort dialectics.
This was the fortified city. There's a fort. There's another fort. This used to be a fort. And there's another one here. Here is a battery. Nice 5-pointed star, which could indicate something. Another one here. That is Havana. And this used to be a fortified city. Not much to see, but confirmed on an old map. Matanzas. Bakafane is nice. Yes, I do agree, Reinhold. It's a teeny tiny little thing. Seth, there is not yet a link to this. It's going to be hosted on starforts.org soon. And on the Discord, you can reach through a link in the description. All right.
Check out tartarinova.com to quickly get to the Discord. Just click on join our radio chat. Thanks again, everyone, the guys who became members and the donations. Thank you very much. And I think that we're about the end of this. Is there anything else? Like, what's this? What's this one?
I'm just finishing the Cuban forts because there was a mention of 2 forts in Cuba, and
this is about Trinidad or something. This one's really nice.
No, this is still in Cuba.
Well, I mean, there's a state of Cuba called Trinidad, but no, this is further towards Holcomb. That's awesome. All over the place. Wow, we found a bunch here. There's a bunch.
And the Caribbean is a fest of star forts. Jamaica.
Gotta go to Cuba. Gotta look at Haiti.
Haiti has a lot.
Yeah, no wonder that they keep that place the way they do. What? Look how thick look how thick that wall is, man. It's a big fort right there. That's a tall wall. It just seems like, yeah, if it has any defense purposes, it's environmental. That's my hypothesis. I mean, it's very useful in terms of offense because you can defend yourself by looking over the directions and vertically as well. But there's definitely more to it than that. It's not just to worry about humans. And yes, someone said something about giantism. We're going to have to look into that more in terms of these forts because it seems like that's always the narrative, that there's some people too weak to build who are smart and some people stupid who are strong, that are taught what to do. And so eventually society is able to be shattered. But Mike, thanks so much for coming on and doing this video. This has been a really good one. I think we should do more.
Anytime, bro.
We're going to hear Bakavine.
This is a teeny tiny little thing, but it's very neatly detailed. All right. One last request.
All right, guys. Yeah.
In the first one gets to see it.
You can also pick one of the last ones because I think there's a few that we've missed, perhaps.
A few. One last thing I can show you as a sort of a. These things are available, by the way, on the website starcivilization.org. Starciv. Star SIV.org. It's a friend of mine, Fenton. He's done a lot of work going over old maps, region maps of Germany and France. And this is an indication of the work I have to go through in Germany. And the neat stuff here is every red star is denoted with a map. So go to starciv.org. You can download these KMCs for free and just find out how much of our history is truly been hidden, because my work is literally just a sliver of what's out there. Just a tiny little speck. Yep, marked as a star, indicated with red. And there's another map indicating it as a star. I'm not even zooming in anymore, but this is free and available at Starciv. And then he has done France. And after that, I will call it quits, because there's a lot of work in France to be done still. Also, every star or pin tying to an old map, denoting it as being fortified. All right, guys. I think that's it. Andreas, you any last words?
Well, I think we should just make sure that Boogeyman comes on next time to check on things too. So let's make him come. But yeah, no, I think this is pretty good. We've got a good number of things here. I'm glad that we looked into Africa. I'm really interested to find more connections between the Occident and France to Africa, and also Africa to indigenous African or whatever you call Moorish America and Mesoamerica. I think that this is pretty interesting stuff. And yeah, go to the starciv.org. 13th Monkey put that up. We'll make sure that people check this out. And the starforts.com or no, starforts.org as well.
.org, yep.
Yeah. And make sure you check out there's a Facebook group, the Mudflood Advanced Researchers and Mudflood Researchers. Make sure you look into that too. But yeah, Tartary Nova, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for being here. And
thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.